Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today, the church celebrates the memorial of St. John Vianney, who happens to be one of my favorite saints. He's the patron saint of priests. And in case you're wondering, the patron saint of deacons is St. Stephen, but that's another day. John Vianney is one of a handful of saints whose intercessions I ask on a daily basis. Every day, I ask John Vianney to pray for Father Steve, for Monsignor Koo, for all of the priests that I know. And I encourage you to do that as well. But John Vianney's story is really an interesting one. He grew up in poverty, and he always wanted to be a priest since he was a young boy. And when he entered seminary, he didn't have a strong educational background. And so he really struggled with the academics, the academic requirements of the seminary, because he just didn't have the educational foundation on which to build it. And so it took him a long time to get through seminary. It's like 10 years from when he entered seminary to when he was finally ordained. But from a pastoral perspective, I think, by all accounts, he was a natural. He lived Christian values. He lived a life of compassion and love and care for others. And he's known as the curé of Ars, meaning that he was the pastor of the parish in this little town in France called Ars. And just as a side note, I was very excited. Last month I was watching the Tour de France. Like in the second or third day, the race went through Ars. I got, oh, that's John Vianney's place. How exciting. I'm sure I wasn't the only Catholic who noticed that. But I digress. One of the things that really impresses me about John Vianney is his dedication to the sacrament of reconciliation. It is said that he spent 12 to 16 hours a day in the confessional, hearing confessions. People would travel from all around Europe to have him hear their confession. I mean, there were no cars. People would travel for weeks to go to confession to John Vianney. And I'm certain that even at that time there were parishes throughout Europe, each of which offered the sacrament of reconciliation. But there was something about John Vianney that compelled people to travel for that great distance for him to hear their confession. I'm a big fan of the sacrament of reconciliation. It is, but honestly, I'm not sure I would travel for weeks just to go to a certain priest. It must have been something really special about John Vianney. When it comes to confession, honestly, I don't really like to go to confession, but I love to come out of the confessional. Right? It's one of the greatest feelings in the world. It's one of the great gifts that the church gives us, this sacrament of reconciliation. And that, to me, is kind of the key takeaway from John Vianney, because clearly he understood how important that sacrament is. It's kind of like when you wash a shirt, right? You have a shirt, your favorite shirt, and you get it right out of the dryer and put it on, and it's so clean and fresh, and it smells so good. Right? That's kind of how confession is. You kind of get that cleanliness, and it feels so good, right? But before long, it's not quite as fresh and clean as it was, and eventually you got to throw it back in the washer again, right? And that's a beautiful gift that the church gives us, is that opportunity to wash, to clean ourselves, to clean our souls whenever we need it, through the sacrament of reconciliation. And so today, I give thanks for John Vianney, not only for his patronage of priests, but for his example of the importance of the sacrament of reconciliation, which is really the gateway to the Holy Eucharist.